Good evening, and welcome to We All Gonna Die Wednesday! 86 times around the block.
Any day now. Any day now. This time for real, you guys. I'm sure of it.
The clown show.
I'm sure of it.
Has begun. Livingston Man, roll that beautiful bean footage.
We all gonna die!
Oh yeah, yeah, it do be going on.
For a response. I can only get so erect, bro.
It's done. It's done. We all dead. What up? How's everybody doing tonight? Ghost Lincoln, Johnny Preps, Eric M1RV, Susan Munzer, Oops, Pennsylvania Preparedness, Dana Let's Prep, Papa's Farm in the house. What's good? Everything just disappeared. I have no idea what's going on. Nothing is working. Everything is gone.
No, it seems
it is not.
Oh,
nothing
man.
is connected.
Oh, I did the
I have
thing.
no clue what's going on. I've got no monitor. Hey, everybody. Livingston Man has to go underneath the hood. You go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
He's gonna just come right back. If you can see us.
I lost everything. It's all gone.
You know what's wild to me is actually
state-of-the-art studio.
I thought about doing this to you.
Oh yeah,
and then
like on purpose.
Yeah, it happened anyway. Like it was a.
It's perfect.
It was an evolution. I did not do this, but I thought about it as an evolution, right? I'm like, you can't see the chat.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? Where
That's
is
it. I'm
this
just gonna
thing?
pretend that I know. Yo, bro, take the whole.
No, you gotta feel it, dog.
Oh yeah.
I found it. Come on.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. I got faith in the Livingston Man. Believe that.
Aha.
So it was. Indeed, the stream was going to die Wednesday, but we're back. We're back. I can see everybody now. Yeah, let me try that again. Shannon Barrett, Oops, Ghost Lincoln, Miko Wolf, Smoking Swamp Outdoors, Gick Rhymes, Papa's Farm, Love and Life, Little Lone Prepper, Pennsylvania Preparedness, Shannon Barrett, Some Random Dude, Southern Tier Prepper, Johnny Preps, Eric M1RV, Wolfang, What's Good, Winning Streak in the House, Teresa Buchanan, hi, Teresa, hi, Teresa, Anne-Marie, we are constantly being hacked by Russians. He's sitting right here.
Stupid of them. I know how to defeat them. You gotta unplug the HDMI cord and then put it back in.
He tried unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Don't talk to me until you have.
This is going to be a great YouTube live stream video. We all gonna die Wednesday, Mike and the Livingston Man. Donald, thank you so much for being here, brother. You have made the Livingston Man's night, indeed. It's been a long kind of going thing that we needed to get Donald in the live chat, man. Shannon wants to know if you can adopt me. Oh, look what is going on here. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. We got a live cam.
So we just need to be able to grab this one if necessary.
Okay, all right, there it is. There it is. Yeah. Okay, he's got. Oh my God, he's got it all. He's got it.
This one. Hi, Teresa.
I love it. I love it. That's absolutely fantastic. Some Random Dude. Indeed. Rescue. What's good, my brother? Good to see you. Where I saw somebody say rescue. No, where's rescue? I thought rescue is in the house. Vision Preparedness is in the house.
Real ones know I got something for them aliens. it's more than a little too.
Oh, snap, guys! You see the shirt? See, now there's. I don't want to turn my back on you.
Come here, I got you.
But here. This is it right here. This is the official t-shirt of the Livingston Man 2024. That's him at the presidential podium right there. That's right. Livingston Man 2024 right there with the We All Gonna Die Wednesday logo on the front.
Look, I feel compelled to do something real quick.
What are you doing?
Well,
you got to mirror your camera because everything's backwards.
Yeah, and also upside down. This is really cool. Are you guys motion?
Are you guys getting drunk or what?
Yeah. You know what? Why don't you just show it to them right there?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's the We All Gonna Die Wednesday logo right there on the front. Left chest. Right over your heart, right where you want the Livingston Man. And Livingston Man 2024. That's him right there at the presidential podium.
It's at the FDR mansion. I stood right at that.
These are fire. These are available right now. If you go down the link in the description section, you can go to our Teespring shop. These are on there. And this is what is going to fund the We the People movement and Livingston Man 2024's presidential campaign. My name is Mike, and I will be his campaign manager. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
All I want to do is bring simple common sense to the equation here. And I ain't even trying to stick around, bro. I want to get this bullshit job done
and get out
and leave.
Yep.
Okay, look, I left you with a good. The founding fathers left us with a good system. The kids fucked it up. Now you got to call a handyman to come fix it. And listen, I'm not gonna hack job in.
He's gonna put the work in.
This shit's gonna be the code or better. I promise you that.
That's right. Jim Ketchum, what's good, brother?
And it's simple as, what does the law say? What do the people say?
Yeah.
Do they agree? Why not? Let's talk about it.
So I have a couple questions that I'm sure the people would want answers to. Are we looking at can we get some term limits, Livingston Man? Can we get some term limits on these people that've been there for life? Can we do that?
Yes, I would executive order it, and I don't care who didn't like it. If I was allowed to, can't speak to the legality. I imagine that those slimy bastards made it so you can't do that. Or else I feel like somebody would have done it, unless I'm to suppose that it's just some club I'm not in.
Well, could be.
And then if that's a club that I'm not in, then how's that for, by, or of the people?
Yeah. Then it would have to be abolished, I would assume. Can't be doing that. What about things like let's say congressional or presidential candidates trading on the New York State Stock Exchange, or the stock exchange as a whole? Do you think that's something that should be allowed, or are these people getting fat off of insider information but never held accountable for it?
So I actually have a plan for that. And that is, okay, let's start, you're a representative. You're a member of the House of Representatives.
Okay.
Your pay as a congressperson is the minimum wage of your state.
I think that's a great idea.
Because if you're not going to live like us and subsist and do what we have to do, then how can you speak for us? How can you be of us, by us, and for us if you're actually in some club that the rest of us ain't in? Starting with the House of Representatives, first of all, you're going to find one of two things happen there. Minimum wage will increase, or nobody is going to apply for that job. And both of them will speak volumes to the statement that I just made.
Absolutely.
That's my plan, is that, okay, so you're opposed to minimum wage, increases. If you're opposed to people getting out the gutter and raising themselves up, then you can go ahead and live like they do. And I want to hear back from you how it works. People like Nancy Pelosi been chilling in Congress too long. That woman probably thinks a banana costs $20.
Yeah.
And doesn't care that it does.
Right.
Out of touch. They've built their ivory tower so high they can't see us from up there. And if they could, they really wish we could. Can we cover that up? I don't want to see that.
So that's like when all the world leaders were coming to California, right? And all of a sudden, all of the homeless people and all of the encampments got cleaned up in California.
Exactly.
They did not want the rest of the world to see their shame, their failures, their utter failures, because that's what that represents. A complete and utter failure of your society to allow your citizens to live in ramshackle at best encampments that they have to make themselves out of tents and cardboard and tarps and everything else.
Isn't that what y'all preppers living for, though? Ain't that the dream?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. The dream for me is to never have to use anything, and for all of this to be a fucking waste of my time. That's my dream. That's my goal. Hopefully, I don't need any of this shit,
You
and
needed
I
it
have.
you had it and didn't need it.
That's okay. That's okay. I'd rather it all go to fucking waste than to have to implement the stuff that I have saved and put away over time to survive something really fucking shitty. Because the way things are looking, really shitty is just over the horizon, folks.
America is the most likely thing that you will deal with as an actual, the closest thing to short of a catastrophic worldwide thing like the SHTF. And SHTF can be so localized. A weather event can ruin your life for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the case of someone we actually physically know, a manure truck could destroy your house.
Absolutely.
SHTF waits for no man. And when it's time to get it, you get it. There is a reason to be prepared. And it's not exactly always for some long off in the distance end of the world situation, because not the world, but your world.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It's big heavy snow, a terrible thunderstorm, a hurricane.
Yeah, a medical emergency in your life and with your family, with you potentially.
A house fire. These things strike at random, and if you are prepared for them, they're not going to suck any less. But it's not going to suck any more.
Yeah, rescue is prepping for possibly a hurricane. If that thing, a lot of the forecast models have it kind of raking the coast of Texas, and that's a big fucking hurricane, man. Jamaica just took it.
Grenada was allegedly destroyed.
Yeah, I saw some footage from Grenada. It did not look very good. The buildings were still standing, but heavily damaged. They're
weasel words, though. But if I'm right, this is very early for hurricane season.
This is the earliest that the Atlantic has seen a Category 4 storm.
Didn't it reach 5?
I believe so. I think it's actually doled back down to a 4 now that it's, run across Jamaica. So.
Once again, and if I'm right, the hurricane season, at least up here in New York, because we can get those cutters that come through.
Oh yeah.
Is September, October, actually, kind of almost into the fall.
Yeah.
And here we are,
it's early, and man, they are fucking strong, Livingston.
First one out the gate is roar. I mean, okay, so what's the next one?
Yeah. So they've actually talked about upping the hurricane scale to include
just gonna say
Category 6. Category
this is where we go next.
And we've, in the last couple of years, man.
What's bean footage? Well, Stray Kitten, I'll tell you. It's
Stray
this.
Kitten, roll it.
We all gonna die! Short, condensed version.
Jay Creature. So it's hurricane season, Mr. Zero. Yes, I'd here upstate New York. Typically the end of summer, we look for things like that to potentially come up the Hudson Valley, which has happened, and the last one has been pretty catastrophic that came up here.
Which one?
With the flooding that we had in, I think it was Hurricane Irene.
Ooh, destroyed Prattsville, notably.
Man. And when you go over to that area and you see how much water came through there. I mean, it had to flood the plains before it filled up the hills, Livingston, man. We're talking about something wider than the Hudson River that just fell down out of the mountains.
That was a perfect storm. And geologically, though, what the residents of Prattsville and the planners and people that built it couldn't know is that was bound to happen geologically.
Yeah.
It's a 500 to 1,000 year flood what occurred there.
Yep.
But given what they saw when they settled the town, this is a great little place right there next to the, what they call it, a creek. But this thing swelled to the size of the Hudson River overnight and took houses down it.
Yeah, it really did.
They had the National Guard. It had to come in with helicopters. There was no way to get there.
Yeah, there was a lot of helicopter rescues. There was people stranded on their roofs. I think people actually lost their lives in that over there.
Houses floated away with people in them.
Absolutely horrific scenes over there in Prattsville and the surrounding area, man. When it came down on the top of the Catskill Mountains, it came down so hard and so fast that it didn't have any place to go. There was no time for the ground to absorb this water. So it literally just rushed down the sides of the mountains and
took out anything that's past. The farther down it got, the stronger it became.
Donald says, I hope we don't get any major hurricanes this year in Florida. Donald, I hope you guys don't get any major hurricanes either.
And hope is not a good plan, Donald. You're going to get a major hurricane. You live in Florida, and you already know how to do this, though.
Yeah, you must be prepared. You must have a hurricane kit. And the know-how, if they tell you you have to get out, you should. You should grab your most prized possessions and tuck your tail between your legs and head upstate, man. Head upstate. Find someplace safer to go, and then when they give the all clear, head back, and hopefully everything's left.
You're in if you're going to call a hurricane a natural disaster, then anyone who lives in Florida, the Panhandle area, the Gulf of Mexico, or the eastern seaboard, well, you're in the range of one. I'll get you.
Yep.
What we end up with here, when hurricanes end up here, they typically
Michigan
are
outpost. What's good?
They're typically tropical storm strength by the time they get here, but sometimes they're not. Hurricane Irene, for example, wasn't some big blister and kill you with the wind thing.
No,
it was kind of disregarded. At first, it seemed
was just
like
some wind and rain.
but what was happening in the mountains and up top, where a rain trap happened, with the mountain range, it was causing like all this rain to fall at an excessive rate, and that's what ended up proverbially fucking shit up. Bridges washed away. Anything that was downhill from uphill, like bye-bye.
Yeah, gone.
And
gone.
it was, the scale was unbelievable because as it was occurring, you didn't perceive it as such. There's not wind blowing. You're not watching trees fall down on this. But you wake up in the morning, you're like, where?
Yeah,
wow.
What happened? Where's this hurricane? And all of a sudden, it's like, man, all the roads are closed. What the hell's going on?
Turkey Hill Road in Red Hook, the entire pavement buckled into an accordion.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Yeah,
the
where
entire
it came
road,
down off of the power lines.
The entire road slid off from its base and just ended up
in
as
a pile. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Donald says, in the state of Florida, they use public schools as the hurricane shelters. That's fantastic, man.
Here in Livingston, in the surrounding metropolis, what we do is we sell the public schools to art galleries, and then they have all these cool fallout shelters and what he just described, but you can't go there. It's a very cool club, and you're not in it.
So, very, very true. Smoking Swamp says, Florida roll call. Oh, have at it, guys. I know there's quite a few Floridians in here. Y'all better get together, man. Look out for each other down there.
Unlike the Ohioans.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a whole lot of Ohioans, too.
Listen, let me tell you, my Florida people, the Livingston man persona was literally based on, we always say headlines, Florida man does this, Florida man does that. The original thing was not to be my name, but to describe, like, oh, Livingston man does this, Livingston man does that. It became my name instead of a headline, but it was totally based in Florida man, so I gotta show love to Florida for this one. And in case you're wondering, no, Ohio does not exist. It was a lie. That was meant to divert your attention. That was a Kansas City shuffle is what it is.
That's what it is. He's got cameras everywhere. Stray Kitten says, why do you call that the bean footage?
That was the thing that
That
Mike
was the
just
thing
always
from
said.
the Bush's baked bean commercials back in the day, where the dog used to tell him to roll that beautiful bean footage,
I
and
don't
they
know
would
what you mean by that.
they would show the Bush's baked bean commercials. There was a dog and a guy, and the dog would talk, and the guy would do what he said. Otherwise, the dog was going to tell everybody the secret Bush's baked bean recipe.
Is this one of those like what?
Yeah, you
like
had to be there.
Shrek was in the movie Alakazam or whatever.
Alakazam. No, that was
It was Shaq, right? He was in that shit.
no Sinbad.
No, he wasn't.
Sinbad.
He'll sue you about it.
It was
when I read.
Shazam.
So it did
Shazam.
happen. I swear that happened. Okay, Mandela effect is where we're at right now,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Is there some shit that you know was real and they try to act like wasn't?
See, Papa Farm remembers. That's it. And we
I'm
have
a-
to change that whole saying now to Papa's Farm remembers instead of Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, we're gonna
Fish
recoin
sticks.
that phrase. Yep.
I remember fish sticks, but I think now they call them something different because this doesn't sound
Fish,
appetizing.
well, if you're British, they call them fish biscuits.
And fish a little bit.
Prepared Irishman, what's good, brother?
Let's grab ourselves a bite of fish and chips, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Pennsylvania preparedness. Yeah, the Berenstein and Berenstein Bears. It's Donald moved to Apatoka, Florida, in the year 2020. Awesome, awesome. I've been here in New York since 1980.
Yeah,
EST,
I haven't
baby.
been more than a mile from my house in 41 years. I was born over there. I can see it from where I live now. It's a cool time.
Anne-Marie says, Livingston man, stop trying to act like you're too young to remember. You probably remember Bartles and James.
Yes, I do. But you know what? At the time,
got him, Anne-Marie.
I was
Got
not.
him.
I was not old enough to drink it, but I do remember it.
It was there.
We used to call them. You'd call them wine coolers, is what people call them.
Oh, yeah. Now we call that what?
Malt beverage.
White Claw.
Yeah, no, that's different.
That's static.
Malt beverage now
That's
is what we call that flavored.
Bartles
BS.
and James and the Boone's Farm.
Here
bro.
they come. Boone's Farm. Now you could buy that shit at their grocery store. That was a little different. You get away with it. They called that flavored beer.
Flavored beer? Oh, man.
I've done drunk my
Telling you, rescue the Boone's Farm, bro.
I've done drink.
That's what's up.
I have done my share.
Oh,
of
winning streak hit
750s
me
of
with the
that.
Zima. Yeah. So,
That's a shit. That's a stain on the soul of society.
not that anybody should ever do this, but we used to put Zima in 1 liter Sprite bottles and bring that shit to school. Nobody ever questioned it.
Mad Dog 2022. They had that strawberry joint. Everybody had a bad experience. It tastes so good. Not the next
Zima
morning.
with a Jolly Rancher Mamacita. That's what's up.
Everybody crack 'em. Listen, tomorrow is America's birthday.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah.
Are you shitty? Because I've been there. Like Mike showed up.
Well, Donald said he was lit earlier.
Do you think the founding fathers sent that letter to the King of England sober?
Hell no.
No, that fucking Thomas Jefferson says, yo, we just fucking, yo, you know what? I'm about tired of this. You know what? We the people. And they're like, bro, preach, my brother. He said, find this truth to be.
Self-evident.
When everybody gets it, George, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, we got it.
Self-evident. Johnny, write this shit down, bro. Write your name mad big on this shit, too, so you can read it without his glasses.
Heaven's Fire, safe travels. Safe travels.
Fun fact for your 4th of July. John Hancock's name is huge on the Declaration because not only was he the first to sign it, but he, quote, this way he can read it without his glasses.
Oh, got him. Rural 2, I see. Yeah. Have fun working tomorrow, England. Suck it.
It's important to remember who the founding fathers were. They were rich-ass motherfuckers who had an interest in their biggest beef was paying taxes. Really what it boiled down to.
I gotta say, not all of them were
many-
extremely wealthy, but some of them were. The guys who got together and kind of the money had to plan.
So you'll
for
remember.
sure.
Okay, so exactly. Okay, so you got your Well, let's remember John Hancock was not president, although I believe he was something like one of the first iterations of what you call a Secretary of State.
Okay.
Weasel words, you guys, I'm just talking shit here, but I'm going to attempt to...
Let it flow, bro.
You got your Thomas Jeffersons, your George Washington, John Adams, and them, Samuel, and them. But then there's like the guys that, like, history doesn't give so much... Patrick Henry, Paul Revere, and like the actual guy, like, boots on the ground guys.
Right.
Patrick Henry was their bartender.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the most, radicalized them all, pound his fist on, give me liberty or give me death, famously.
Yep. Well, that was before they hung him, right?
I'm not going to speak on it. We're talking proverbially, but these guys were real people of the time. I'm going to prescribe the same thing. The founding fathers are sometimes put in the same pantheon as gods or supernatural people. They weren't. They were real people who really did this stuff, although whatever's been embellished, we're not going to go there either. But at the end of the day, they were patriots who believed in a new society that was different from the one they were raised under. They pushed forward with it. It became what has been often described as this experiment that is America.
Absolutely.
And what you need to ask yourself this election and voting season, because unfortunately it matters, and we wish it didn't, but it does, is where is this American experiment supposed to go? Is it going to fail spectacularly because of extremism on one side or the other? Are we somehow going to learn to shake hands and work out our disagreements? Ladies and gentlemen, they attempted to teach you this shit in kindergarten. And yet, as grown-ass adults of the greatest country on earth, we have not decided about how to just listen to the other person and put yourself in their shoes and then speak. But no, not you, not me, him, and any of us are willing to do that for real yet. The time is now. Enough of this. We want to talk a lot of shit about being patriotic. We're all Americans. Well, then, God bless us, start acting like it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I often say, Livingston Man, be the change that you want to see. I think it's real important to just not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And people are taken back by me because when they meet me, the person that they see here on YouTube is the same exact person that they meet in real life. I just don't talk nonstop because obviously I can't, and I'm here to talk for at least an hour right now, right? So I gotta flap my gums for a little while. I might not be as talkative in person as I am here, but I'm me. I don't play a persona or anything like that. I'm always just me. So I hope folks get some stuff out of that. Can we get some good news? Livingston Man 2024, baby. That's what's going down.
I'll change everything.
The people.
It's just, because if these people are the most powerful man in the world, President of the United States, okay, well then I'm going to really honestly test that theory. I'm going to change everything that people don't like. Right up the middle. We can't just give y'all everything, okay? We have to, once again, listen to the other half of America on this one, and we need to work to a solution. And I don't want some dragged out. I don't need to stay here for 20 years figuring out the solution. It's very simple. I need to get through this wall. Then give me a fucking sledgehammer and let's get through the wall. Look how easy. Now that we're through the wall, let's work on it. I'm tired of these people who want to.
Drag it out, kick the can down the road. They've been doing that for 30 years now, Livingston Man.
They can push a button and nuke a random Palestinian with a $50,000 missile, but you can't just fucking fix my teeth. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Your system is corrupt, and the people are starting to realize it more and more. The ones you didn't even expect would.
It's
Michael, I'm starting to think that the powers that be might not be honestly truthful with what they're saying to me.
Yeah, it's looking that way, Livingston, man. We do have a couple articles that we wanted to get here.
Which one was your first one that she was
I
pissed about?
believe the very first one is going to talk about the 4th of July.
Oh, good. The anniversary of the 4th of July warning. People hate America and they're going to attack us on the 4th of July.
Yes, and guys, it looks like the FBI is saying that folks are looking to target large gatherings.
They say this every time.
Yes, yes. However, I personally do not want to be one who gets caught with my pants down in a situation like this. They're talking lone wolves or small groups of actors looking to do mass harm, right? And this is something that
Can I just
freaks
ask?
me out a little bit. Listen, guys, if you can legally carry a firearm where you live, do so. If you can legally carry a radio and use a radio, you should have one with you. If you're traveling, you should do these things because if shit happens, which hopefully it never does, right? You need to be prepared for whatever situation you may find yourself in. Do not say, it'll be fine, we do it all the time. Because the threat level has never quite been as high as it is right now, folks. So take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, be prepared and eternally vigilant, please.
When the FBI warns you of attackers targeting holiday celebrations, you can somewhat safely assume that they the ones that groom the sumbitch.
Or that they have intelligence that something like this may happen. There may be some chatter in the groups that they monitor. There may be some things like that. Stay local, stay home, stay with your family, you know. If you have to go to a large gathering, you need to be super vigilant. That's all. Super vigilant, you know, keep your eyes around you. If you see something, say something, don't question it. Make a call, man. Dial 911 and tell them, yo, there's some sketchy motherfuckers here. You guys need to come check this shit out right the fuck now. That's how things like this get stopped. Vigilant citizens. So pay fucking attention, folks. Pay attention. Grateful Preps, absolutely. Pray for peace every day. Every day. But at the same time, prepare as if the lid's going to get blown off this motherfucker and we're going to have to go home some way, right? So that's a big thing.
I'm going to piggyback off what Cheap said. If you find yourself in the absolute unfortunate and unlikely situation where you have to take down an aggressor who is harming others and you as a third party are now obligated to render help and aid, as soon as you take care of the situation, toss your piece and be out.
This is not legal advice.
Yes, it is, because if you're still holding it when the cops show up, your ass is dead too.
Yeah.
And two, pray to the Lord that you killed the guy, because otherwise your ass is going to court.
Oh, that's happening no matter what. Donald said he's going to watch the Macy's 4th of July Spectacular free on YouTube tomorrow night. That's the way to be, Donald. Home and safe, buddy. Home and safe. Listen, everybody lives in different places with different laws and different rules and different things. I don't know your personal situation. I don't know your laws. I don't know anything. But what you can legally do within your means to protect yourself and your family, I highly suggest that you do so. That's all I can say. Right?
Yep.
Right.
It's very personal.
It's very personal.
And, you know, I'm not here to judge what anyone... Because there's two things in the world, Mike, and that is what people think they'll do, and then there's what they'll actually do.
Correct.
We're all flawed in that way. Of course, we're all swaggering, tough people who think, of course I deal with.
I just want to get my family to safety. I'm not looking to take down an aggressor. I'm just looking to make sure that my family is not in the midst of bullshit and we can get out of there safely. That's
Certainly. Some folks perhaps would argue that that's a moral weakness. What would you say to people that said that mindset? Okay, so you're strapped.
Yeah.
But your family's in the situation or exposed to the situation.
Yeah, that huddle the family and get out of there.
You run, but don't come back and fight.
Correct, because I have to protect my family. I don't know if I'm running into potential problems. I'm not running backwards. I'm getting my family to safety and getting the fuck out of there.
Some hard dick tough guy is about to come into the comments with some bullshit.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I agree with what you're saying, and I don't mean to imply otherwise.
Mamacita, body armor is something that they banned here in New York for civilian ownership. Folks that have it now it's illegal to possess it. It's illegal to own it. It's illegal to sell it. It's illegal to do anything with it. So,
once again, like in the event of a mass casualty incident, and you're found to be wearing body armor, you went from being a survivor to
a target,
a criminal.
Yeah, you're going to be a target. Mamacita, yeah, they made body armor illegal to own here in New York. It seems that New York wants to make people less and less safe as quickly as possible. I don't get the logic in it. Devin says more volume, please. I think we can do that. Why'd they ban body armor? I don't know. I don't know if it's been used in the commission of crimes too often here in New York, and they kind of put the kibosh on it that way. Oops says the volume is low. Any better? Trev says in New York State you can own the carrier, but you cannot own armored plates. See? Now initially when they...
I don't like that word. Don't say can't. Say either you don't want to or shouldn't.
It's illegal.
Can't is a very personal thing.
Yeah, to some folks that's a challenge.
Like show me where I can't.
John Wright says every state should not have different laws. I think that things that are enamored in the Constitution, like the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, things like that, are kind of carte blanche across the board, and states can't step on those, but New York does anyway. They're like, get a fucking permit for that rifle. You can't buy a Ruger 1022 without a semi-automatic rifle permit in New York State.
Who said that?
New York State.
No, every state should not have different laws. The thing is, though, that's actually enshrined in the Constitution, that anything not described in this document is left to the state to decide.
Yeah.
Is why they struck down...
Hi, Abby.
Controversially, why they struck down Roe versus Wade.
Right.
This issue was not defined in the Constitution.
So it should be left up to the states.
It was left to the states to decide. People say, oh, look, the right-wing bunch of Nazis enacted this law. No, they obeyed the Constitution. And it's something that if you care about the Constitution, you should get used to. The Constitution, it describes very broad terms. Of course, that will be interpreted differently by different people. But I applaud the present Supreme Court for shockingly being rather impartial about it.
Yeah, and just standing up for the Constitution as it was written.
Everybody's mad about this new one where, like, they said, a president acting in his official capacity is immune to prosecution.
Right.
Everybody's like, how dare they? Like, oh my goodness, it doesn't save Trump and this and that thing. But what I find actually dangerous about that ruling is that now a president can commit crime and cannot be held accountable for it.
As long as it was within his official duties as president. For instance, calling in a drone strike on Soleimani in Syria.
Instead, now you don't have to do...
That was within his official capacity as president to do that because he was terrorist and as head of a terrorist organization. So
No,
it was,
it makes it so much easier than that. Instead of having to do their shit in back doors and turn the cell phones off and be secret, that you do it right in the Oval Office on record.
Yeah.
This is my official capacity to commit fucking crimes. And this is not Trump. This is not Biden. This is anyone.
Grateful Preps, that would, if you drone strike, the
The president can and will and does commit crimes. Disregard, overruled. Grateful Preps, NJ. Sorry,
They,
but
some people would look at that as a war crime.
again, don't say could. Don't say can't. Say should.
America looks at that as part of their official duties. Not everybody's happy when you drone strike somebody. So
You can drone strike somebody.
duct tape and beer cans to yourself is not armor. That's right, oops. But you will be loud as hell coming down the road. I'll tell you what.
This man said, "President cannot commit crimes."
Well,
then,
they're
okay,
not-
I'm
they're
gonna
not
give you. I'm
supposed
gonna
to.
give you two choices here. Then, Donald Trump convicted of 34 felony fucking counts, or potentially Joe Biden convicted of all the illegal shit you guys said he was doing. So, which one do you prefer of which he cannot commit crimes? I want to hear it. Rebuttal, sir.
Ma'am.
Sorry.
Grateful Prep says it's always been that way. SCOTUS made the right call. I agree. I think.
A man of honor could not possibly commit crimes. That's a fallacy. We were not doing it. He's mad because
Donald says Livingston Man for U.S. president and Mike as vice president. Livingston Man already has a running mate, and it's the fluffiest cat. His name is Caligula, and he's pretty awesome.
his actual name is Gaius Germanicus. His nickname
Gaius
is Caligula.
Gaius Germanicus.
That's him.
Okay, Gaius Germanicus, and
His nickname is
Livingston Man
Caligula.
2024.
It means little boots because he has little white feet.
See, he's cute as
He
hell.
happens to be named after a notorious Roman insane dictator, but that has nothing to do with who he is. But you should vote for, you should prop me up or else she'll get him, and that's all I'm saying.
What do we got?
You thought
here
Kamala Harris
next?
was bad.
Livingston Man. We just on to the next one.
That one right there.
So the elephant in the room here, folks. The world is sitting on a 9.91 trillion dollar problem. Livingston Man, could you let
Hard
us know
choices are coming.
what this $91 trillion problem is, please, sir?
From London via CNN is that governments owe an unprecedented, of course we love that word this day and age,
Unprecedented.
91 trillion, an amount almost equal to the size of the global economy, and one that will ultimately exact a heavy toll on their populations. And by their populations, they mean you, me, and these guys.
That's right.
Not the people actually responsible for this. My opinion. Debt burdens have grown so large, in part
Jones Truth, good to see you.
because of the cost of the pandemic,
Yeah, it was
that
really
they now
expensive to
pose
not
a
work, guys.
growing threat to living standards, even in rich economies, including the United States.
That's right. So this is going to become a huge problem because now the middle class folks, the folks who make over $100K a year, are honestly worried that if they're going to pay their bills next month. This is all coming to fruition, guys. I told you guys long ago that the squeeze was on and that eventually we would all feel it, regardless of your economic standing.
I can't do what
Yeah,
I'm trying
no.
to do. The International Monetary Fund, whatever that is, this week reiterated its warning that, quote, chronic fiscal deficits, unquote, in the U.S. must be, quote, urgently addressed. Investors have long shared that disquiet about the big-term trajectory of the U.S. government's finances. Essentially,
Yeah, the money's crap.
as debt burdens...
There you go.
As debt burdens... I'm sorry, you guys. I have to read CNN. This is painful. This is the devil reading scripture right now. As debt burdens mount around the world, investors are growing anxious. In France, particularly, political turmoil has exacerbated concerns about the country's debt, sending bond yields or returns demanded by investors soaring. Now, I'm going to cut me right there. Does any of this sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
Does this jargon and bullshit that's controlled, owned, and run by a bunch of people that ain't fucking you make any sense to you? Bonds and dividends and returns and investors and this and that. What are you even talking about? You people, whoever you are, who are these people, have racked up $91 trillion in debt that you,
To who?
me, them, and all of us watching right now. And do you know who's not on the hook for this? This fucking abysmal credit score?
Who made all
the
of this
people
money?
who didn't do it. You want to talk about loan forgiveness? You want to get pissed? Look at this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Because you know what ain't classy? When poor people need welfare. You know what is classy? Fucking airlines getting bailed out by the government.
Yeah.
What's the
or
fucking
big banks.
difference?
Big banks getting bailed out by the government. That happens a lot.
That's super classy when the rich beg for money, but not us, right?
So when they bailed out the big banks, they gave them tons of money, right? So they gave them so much money that they held on to that shit because they knew that eventually the ripples from this would make smaller banks collapse, right? So with all the extra money that the big banks have, now when you see these smaller banks starting to go under, you see that another bigger bank reaches out and says, hey guys, we'll take care of all that. We're just going to assume all of your debt. We're going to take care of all that, and we're going to make sure everybody gets paid, right? So it's consolidating the banks. The banks there's less and less of them. There's less and less of them, and there's less and less of them until there's only a couple left, right?
By law, there has to be 3.
Then, when those 3 start to get a little shady, that's when you're going to see the implementation of the digital dollar. It's coming. It's coming.
The problem with capitalism and the reliance on money in general is that there is not it cannot trickle down. The lie is that it will. There's a little bit of it they wish it didn't, but the reality is that it can't. And the more the money becomes fake. Okay, all it is numbers in a digital thing. You look at your bank account, it says number. Good enough. But when that doesn't trickle down to actual purchasing power, the system has to fail because at some point you have to reciprocate, and you cannot benefit from actual labor by compensating for it with fictitious currency.
Yeah, or currency that is so devalued that
it means
your
nothing.
Paycheck means shit.
You're talking bread lines and wheelbarrows full of money to go buy a piece of bread. You know what I mean?
Ooh, Rescue's on it. Rescue is on it. This is exactly the route that they're taking us. This cyber twisted 1984 meets some crazy Tron shit. That's what's coming for us, folks. The digital currency, everything connected. Betty Lou is on it too, because the only way to stop it is secessio plebis.
And what it is the current government, parties and ideologies aside, government in general, that big old house on the hill, right, needs to have daddy's credit card taken away. Daddy being us, all of us. You have consistently shown yourselves to act above, beyond, and against our interest as the people, and we're tired of paying for what you've done and being blamed for it.
I don't remember who said it, but somebody in the chat said that they are waiting for the BRICS R Us because they are going to create a gold-backed currency, and I pretty much guarantee that at some point or another, they're going to make that shit illegal to own here.
What are you gonna, you guys with your gold? You are.
All right, so listen.
You're gonna eat it?
No, but if you're
You're gonna wear
if you
it?
have something that
You gonna drink it?
So I believe there's
Are
a
you
window.
gonna fuck it?
There's a window, right? There's a window of opportunity to use your cash when shit hit the fan.
You're so brainwashed by America, you don't even.
Very
understand.
small window.
I have this metal that I can't do anything with, but
So you have this very small window to use your cash before it's totally worthless, right? About 2 weeks after everything collapses, then you're going to be using that shit as toilet paper. After that period, there's going to be the period of gold and silver. That window is a little bit bigger, where people are like, the money ain't ever going to be worth shit again. If you're going to give me anything, I want gold or silver.
It's a fucking pyramid scheme,
Right?
is what it is.
So give it the fuck away. Get your stuff then. If you got the gold and the silver, there's a time to use that. After that, it ain't worth shit. Because then all that's really going to matter is the food, the water, the shelter, the firewood, the ammunition, so you can hunt and fish and do what you can do. Maybe protect yourself.
I would love to get into why humans have this unnatural fetish for gold, but that's for another life.
Well, that's for when we talk about what the aliens are going to get.
The aliens. And how do we know the aliens? Because, well, I'll leave you with a teaser. A little bit of them lives on in us. At the end of the day, you guys with your gold, I challenge you to actually start to think about what is that really going to be worth to you besides a heavy weight on your back, something that you have to spend enormous resources to protect. And what if you can't eat it, drink it, wear it, or fuck it, you need to leave that shit at home. In a situation like some of y'all think might occur.
Yeah. Well, I think worst case scenario, you melt
I am
melt
not.
it down and make.
Yardbirds, I am not probed. I am the one who probes.
He's the prober, not the probee.
That's right. Get it right.
Oh,
you know
good
me better
Lord.
than that. I love you.
Well, I think you can manipulate the gold and the silver into other things. I can make myself a
What?
killer.
You gonna make
gold
yourself an
knife.
interstellar galactic
No, a
fucking
gold
space
knife,
station?
a gold spear, some
Gold
gold
is soft and
broadheads
gay.
for my bow.
Gold is not
all about
for
it.
that at all. That's why ain't nobody ever done that in the history of the world. Made broadheads out of gold. Unless
Well,
you-
it's because they didn't
Okay, Elon, fucking.
They didn't have it.
Silver bullets is one thing. Gold, you flexing now. I hate you.
Donald, I think there's a lot of UFO sightings over Florida because they live in the ocean just off the coast of Florida. That Bermuda Triangle, I think we gave that shit to them because you don't hear nothing about it anymore. Mr. Zero, yeah, it's soft, but then maybe I could bend him back, you know. I don't know.
I want to leave you guys with a little bit of homework. Not so much homework because there's really not enough research here. But I was
Okay.
thinking about, because I heard you talk about this aliens hiding under the ocean shit.
Oh yeah, they're there. USOs.
So what I'm proposing is that what actually the Bermuda Triangle is at first, it was an area of anomalous weather conditions. Because however it is that the Earth is there, it's a tough, weird place to go with primitive sailing technology.
Right.
It gained a reputation as a place you don't really want to go.
Okay, very true. Very true.
Piggybacking off of this, military-industrial complex capitalized on people's fear and fascination of the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
And now have based advanced undersea-to-air capable vehicles
In that location.
that, if I may, then Area 52.
Interesting.
And that-
Interesting. The easiest place to hide it, obviously, is underwater, right? Totally get that.
And it's also that I will bring up the story I told about why people think that carrots are good for their eyes.
Oh, okay.
It was military propaganda to fool the enemy to think that they did not have an advantage that they had.
The radar.
So when people say, "Oh, it's aliens," or some unexplained phenomenon, you're playing right into their hands. Where I believe that all this weird stuff you see is completely man-made, most likely U.S. made, and simply secret and cannot be spoke about. And when you call it aliens, they wish you would.
Ooh, rescue. I did hear about it, but I have not seen the footage yet. I will actually check that out after the live stream. Thank you for reminding me about that. I did hear about that.
What's that?
Well, the U.S. supposedly had this underwater drone that could
The mantis or
the manta ray, right? It's this big drone that cruises underwater, and somebody got it from like a dock or something. They saw this thing in the water and they got footage of it. So
That shit can
Yeah, man. If they got shit like that, there's no fucking telling what they really have. The government is so far advanced from us. The Livingston man and I had a talk the other night.
If you're allowed to know about it, it's 40 years old.
I asked him the question of, do you think that the government is so far advanced at this point that they have sent people into the fucking future, right, to see what the future is, and now they are manipulating it, and that's why things are so fucking weird anymore?
I don't think you can go into the future. The future hasn't happened from where you are.
Okay.
The future hasn't happened. It doesn't exist. But if time travel is possible, in my... I'm not Einstein, okay? I imagine that you can go back to the past because it did happen.
Okay.
Somehow.
So maybe they're manipulating that.
But as for going to the future, I don't think. But at the same time, I don't know, someone else, I guess I gotta hold a dual belief that people from the future could come back to here.
Interesting.
You see why this stuff is best left to the professionals, because here I sit talking about time travel, 8 beers deep. Y'all believe in it? Like, he's making total sense. You're about to vote for me to be president.
Donald says, I heard they have pyramids under the Atlantic Ocean in the Bermuda Triangle, Mike, in the Livingston man.
It's absolutely true.
Could be.
I'm going to tell you why. Not
One
because...
second, I just got to scroll here for a minute. I missed somebody's comment that I wanted to go back and see again.
The flood myth is true. It's not a myth. It actually happened. All the glaciers and ice melted from being left over from when we got smoked with a massive comet and or asteroid. It kicked up a lot of dust in the atmosphere. It blackened the sky. The earth got cold. On a global scale, it turned everything to ice. Because of this, the sea levels shrunk back and became ice. Ancient civilizations were 300 feet below sea level. And then all of a sudden, the planet, this was not a cataclysm. This was not, motherfuckers built a boat and floated it out. But at the end of the day, sea level rise was a thing. All of our ties to our ancient selves, who we actually are buried underwater. Because at the time, the shoreline where they would fish and do their thing was what is now underwater because
hundreds of feet of water, right?
Right,
Yeah, not just
which makes it, again, extremely difficult to attempt to understand and interpret.
El Guapo, what's happening, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by tonight.
The Hudson Valley, Robert,
Yeah.
The Hudson Valley is a massive floodplain. Okay, like I'm a sort of an amateur geologist.
Lay it on us, Livingston, man.
What happened, the Hudson Valley was literally carved, and at the end of New York Harbor, there's what's called the Hudson Canyon.
Right.
Where a huge glacial, all these glaciers would melt and they would settle into lowlands and stuff.
Yeah.
There'd be like an ice dam holding them back, but eventually,
Yeah.
billions, an unimaginable amount of water would be released at once.
Right.
The Hudson Valley essentially was carved by a single event where Lake Iroquois blew up and flooded to the point where it cut a 20,000 now feet deep canyon in the continental shelf of the ocean off of New York Harbor.
Whoa, that's a big one. That's a big one. There's areas, especially where I roam, my home area. The one town, we have a mountain that they actually have an exhibit on in the Museum of Natural History, Stissing Mountain. Stissing Mountain is really...
Stissing is an anomaly.
It's just a big pile of debris that was left by the glacier.
It's called a drumlin.
And in those areas, the land is actually very sandy. It's very beach-like, small round rocks everywhere. Not a lot of dirt, but where the dirt is, it's incredible farming. Incredible farming.
If you ever want to like imagine how geology and like this sort of, if you're from New York especially, we have many like post Ice Age features around here, and if you look at them, they're fascinating. I don't know what worth that has in real life besides
Right.
trivia.
Yeah,
But it's cool to
Southern
like,
Tier Prepper wants you on her trivia team.
it's cool to look at it and be like, you know what happened here. When you look at even like you say you got like a gravel or dirt driveway and you got a heavy rainstorm and you see
The runoff, yeah, you can see these
and the
things
way like
being formed.
things piled up into this. Now imagine this on a global giant scale where you would need something like a drone or a satellite to see it.
Yeah.
This is the scale that we were talking about, 25,000 years ago. This is the reason flood myths
I don't
exist.
even know if it's a myth. I think
It's not a myth. It
has
actually
to.
happened.
Yeah.
It's proven. It actually happened. The geology of upstate New York is gorgeous. It speaks to a time gone by where it was not like this at all. And it's cool, man. If you want to just escape from your present reality, you can just sit back and look at a landscape and imagine a whole different time.
Yeah, yeah, when there wasn't all these people throwing all this fucking garbage here. Trev Terra says there's a piece of red granite in my neck of the woods. Closest red granite mountain is in Vermont. Yeah.
It's called an erratic. It would have been brought here encased in ice by an ice sheet that was moving and then deposited. Sometimes you'll open field and there's a giant rock there for no reason. That's what happened.
Yep.
It was stuck in ice and it was brought here and left.
Yeah, yeah. The valley's really incredible, man. Especially if you get up to a place like Olana. I don't know if we'll have to take him. Let's go. We'll take him to Olana.
I've been saying we should.
Yeah, let's do it.
Olana is a classic, what they call a drumlin hill.
We'll do a live stream from up there, bro.
A lot of the big wigs back in the day built their houses and estates on what we call drumlin hills.
Yeah, yeah. Energy domes. Yep, Olana is awesome. The view from up there is just fucking incredible, man.
The state of Florida, Donald, is actually the remnants of an ancient million-year-old coral reef. He had mentioned if you drill down, it's a lot of sand, silt, and every other thing. But what the core of Florida is actually a coral reef that silt and ocean currents brought lots of
Sediment
material to and built it to its present day. If climate change, sea level rise models are correct, most of Panhandle Florida will, the part that sticks out, I should say, the peninsular Florida will cease to exist. It's essentially what we'd call a sandbar.
Gotcha. Lots of salt under Lake Erie. They've got salt mines everywhere, man. They store so much shit in the ground. That's another hidden shit hit the fan danger is these.
They're everywhere.
The natural gas and things like that they store in these old salt caves underground. It's fucking crazy, man.
They're humidity protected because the salt just does the thing.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, and like there's a reason you don't know about them because they're kind of important. Like we gave up on fallout shelters in schools. We now have salt mines for the elite.
It's so true. Jim Ketchum, we're headed out of here too, brother. I want everybody to please have a very safe and happy 4th of July.
Be that person that comes through it with all 10 digits, all right?
That's right, man. That's right. If
as soon as it
Pierre-Paul says, light
sizzles,
and run.
Yeah, it sizzles, toss,
That's right.
run.
Light and run.
Don't look at it.
Winning streak, cut it out. Yeah. Ghost Lincoln said it best. Stay safe, everyone, and have fun. Amen. And don't forget to America the fuck on and take a moment and be thankful that we live in the greatest fucking nation on the face of the earth. And keep fighting to keep it that way, folks. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. Livingston Man 2024. We out of here.